Welcome back to Unapologetically Progressive. I have some breaking news for you this evening, coming to you out of the U.S. District Court in Maryland. Judge Brendan Herson has put a block in place, in part because he was skeptical. Let me read this paragraph here from USA Today before I get into some of the other quotes from the judge. It says, Judge Brendan Herson of the U.S. District Court of Maryland was skeptical of the government's argument that the order was not a nationwide ban on care, but rather a general policy directive that the plaintiffs who are trans teens and young adults whose care has been affected must wait. Okay, so the government's argument here was that these transgender people must wait to have their care heard in court, have their case heard in court over their lack of care. And we'll get into it with some of the quotes here from the judge. Mr. Herson said, in this situation, it is clear that these plaintiffs have received phone calls, stopping their care, stopping their appointments, stopping their everything, Herson said during the hearing on Thursday, adding that hospitals stopped care because of the order, which also seeks to prohibit federal funding for transition-related care for minors. Now, here's the problem with it, right? A 19-year-old and 18-year-old, those aren't minors. By every government rule federally, at 18, you were legal. You're legal in most states. You're legal to smoke. In most states, and in the U.S., you're legal to go into the military, and legal to go shoot people in war, and be shot at in war. So there's your one problem. But the judge is skeptical because they say the government is saying that it's not a ban on gender-affirming care when the judge sees it as a ban nationwide on gender-affirming care because these plaintiffs have seen this, in real time in their lives, causing problems for them. What some people in the government either don't care about or they're not understanding is the fact that people are not able to get their medications. Maybe that's by design, right? I don't know. Let's get more into what the judge had to say as well. He went on to say, I don't know, you can credibly argue that this is not demanding a cessation of funding for gender-affirming care. Talking about the part of the order that bans funding for a gender-affirming care for people 19 and under. Now, we don't know how this is going to go when it goes to the Supreme Court. Who knows how it'll play out? But right now, this is some good news for younger trans people in America right now. I know there's a lot of fear out there. A lot of people are scared, especially people that are, in their later teens, and stuff that may have already started, hormone replacement, or those that were younger that are being forced to go off of puberty-pausing medication. And so that's what the judge has put in place for right now, is a temporary block for now. Let me get to a quote from the ACLU. I didn't have time to get a slide made for it. According to Joshua Block, he's senior staff attorney for the ACLU LGBTQ and HIV project, which represented the plaintiffs in the case. He said that the order had sown fear among transgender youth and confusion among their providers, going on to say today's decision should restore both their access to health care and protections under the Constitution. He went on to say providers who have suspended health care for their transgender patients should be left with no doubt that they can lift those suspensions and continue providing care and act in the best medical judgment without risking their funding or worse. So that said, that is the breaking news for this afternoon. And I think this is some great news for the trans community. For the time being, I know this will end up in another court before long, and it'll be put to the test, right? But I know how this could go when it gets to the Supreme Court. So just keep fighting, keep going for it, doing what you need to do. But just be careful, or just be knowledgeable that if it gets to the Supreme Court, it could very well, create a issue where they take that block away. right? Or another judge could do that as well. Anyways, watch this space. I'll keep you up to date. And anyways, I'll see you down the road.